So it's going to be the same order. We're just adding Miss Roberts Clark.
Beckford, can you call her now and ask her to log on?
That's what I'm doing. Miss Mayor, good morning. Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our orientation for grade 10. At this time, we're going to begin our activities with devotion. We're going to be having our devotional exercise from our school chaplain, Reverend Nevroy Francis.
And strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river, whose stream make glad the city of God, the habitation of the Most High God. God is in the midst of that city, it shall not be moved. God will help her in the dawn. The nations are in uproar, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, and the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. That's a reading from Psalm 46, and what a most fitting reflection for today's challenges in our world. Our world around us seem to be falling in chaos, anarchy, and so many things are going on that we don't seem to understand, we have never experienced before. Around us, everything is crumbling. And the question we ask ourselves is, where is God in all of this? But God is right where God has always been. He has been our guide, our help, our sustenance, and our strength. David the psalmist reminds us that God is not only our refuge, but God is our strength and God is our help. And if there's ever a time we need to be assured of someone who will always be there to help us, it is in these days. In these days of uncertainty, in these days of challenges, in these days where so many things seem to be going wrong, we can look to our source, who is God, our refuge and our strength. Therefore, we will not fear. I love how the writer puts it in Psalm 121, verse 1. David, having gotten to a place where there was no other way out, he looked to God. Hence he wrote the psalm, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help comes from God, the maker of heaven and earth. Today, friends, as we embark on a new journey, as we embark on a new day, there are many challenges, there are many setbacks, but even in this, there are great opportunities. Opportunities in which we will turn to Christ, turn to God, where our strength comes from, knowing that our help comes from Him and His peace He will give to us in times of the storm. Brooklyn Tabernacle says it's best. You are the source of our strength. You are the strength of our lives. We lift our hands in total praise to you, O God. So I want to encourage us this morning, my entire Bridgeport family, that whatever we may experience, whatever we may face, whatever may come our way, one thing is certain, one thing is sure: our lives are in God's hands. And yes, because our lives are in God's hands, we indeed have a refuge, we have strength, and we have a very present help, not sometimes, but in all times of our lives. And so, as you go throughout today, as you embark on your pursuits, I want to challenge you, but I also want for you to remain optimistic that this too shall pass. This too shall pass. For God is with us, and He has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, one of love, and one of a sound mind. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you his peace today and forever. God bless you. Have a great day and be safe and strong in the Lord.
We want to thank Reverend Francis for having led our devotions. And at this time, we'll have our official welcome and opening remarks by our Senior Vice Principal, Mrs. Palmer.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bedford. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this another orientation, grade 10. Thank you for joining us. Parents, if you are joining with your children, we want to say welcome to. Any staff members that are on with us, we say welcome. Thank you for joining us via Zoom and also those that joining us via YouTube. We want to say welcome. We thank you for joining. Pray that as we go through today's activities, you will understand what it is that we need from you and you will do just that. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to ask those students who are on the platform and you're not in uniform just to close your video. Please remember for your orientation next week on all your classes, you are to be either in your polo shirt, school polo shirt, your school PE top, or your uniform. Okay, so those without uniform, polo tops, or PE tops, please just close your microphone for us. Now, today you will hear what we are expecting of you as we go forward and how we are expecting you to behave and just about how to keep yourself safe. I'm not going to take much of your time, but just to say we're happy that you're still alive, happy that you're still safe, and we want to pray that as we continue through this pandemic, whatever it is that we have to do, we do it well, and we try as best as possible to stay safe and to stay healthy. Welcome to all of you. Welcome. Welcome to a new school year. Welcome to a new grade. Welcome to all those persons who are just joining us, who might be new to us at school, whether you're a staff member or you are a student. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Palmer. And since we are going to be embarking on a new grade this year, we are going to be meeting quite a few persons that we had not met before. So at this time, we want to introduce to you the a few of the staff members with whom you will come in contact this year, including the leadership of your school. As most of you would know, our chairman is Dr. Dane Levy. Our principal, Mrs. Beverly Harris, who is running a little late. She will join us shortly. Mrs. Palmer, who just spoke to you, our senior vice principal, and she works across the shift. Miss Karen Beckford, acting vice principal for the blue shift, and that's me. Mr. Nelson, vice principal for the red shift. Most of you would have already known Mr. Nelson. Mrs. Coley, or Dean of Discipline, or Nurse Henry. The president of the Past Students Association is Mr. Jason Stewart. Miss Suzette Lawrence, the PTA president. We have two grade supervisors who will be working with you this year. We have Miss Ferron, and there is also Mr. Smalling, who will be working alongside Miss Ferron as your grade supervisors for this year. We also have our guidance from our guidance department. We have Mrs. Forbes, Miss Mayer, and Mrs. Fraser Brown. Your form teachers. Mr. Palmer will be form teacher for 10 arts. Mrs. Rooms, form teacher for 10 BEA. Miss Vidal, form teacher for 10BEB. Mrs. Levy Chambers, form teacher for 10BEC. Ms. Dale Walker, form teacher for 10BED. Miss Frey, form teacher for 10ITA. Mr. Johnson, form teacher for 10ITB. Mr. Farquharson, 10ICT. Mrs. Miss Davis and Mr. Perez, form teachers for 10HEA. Mrs. Barrett Jefferson, form teacher for HEB. Mrs. Hines and Miss Riley, form teachers for 10HEC. And those are they. We also want to encourage you as you think about how we're going to be operating in this environment in this new year. We want to invite you to think about being members of clubs or societies, the meetings, because of the nature of our engagement for this year, because of what is happening, and we are not able to engage, we're not able to meet, we're not able to operate the way we would normally operate. Or meetings for clubs and societies, for the most part, will be online. So, some of the clubs, societies that we have are shown here. I'll just give you a chance to look at and see which ones you would be interested in. Again, it only represents some of the clubs, societies that are here. All right. So we want to encourage you as much as possible to be a part of clubs, at least one club, be a part of at least one organization within the Bridgeport High School family. We have for you a virtual tour. I know you have been home. A lot of you have not been to school. So we just want to remind you as to what our school is like now. And also, if we have anyone here at Bridgeport High School for the first time, we present to you Bridgeport High School. Yes, sir. You're not seeing anything at all? You're joking. And you wait until now to call me on the video almost done. You see? You see it now? You mean on Okay, we want to apologize for that break in transmission. We are going to be going now to an orientation video from the from our school, and it basically will give you an overview as to what it is that you are to expect this year. Uh, I'm not sure if persons would have heard, but we are going online. We're going totally online. So some of the information that will be shared in the video will be for when we return to school. But listen to the information, and quite a bit of it can be applied to you wherever you are.
Of Bridgeport High School. Welcome back to school for this academic year. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we're all facing challenges and are learning to cope in a new normal. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The last few months
Not
has
hearing?
been challenging for all. And we understand the anxiety you must be feeling
Yes.
having your children return to school in the middle of a pandemic with all the new protocols and regulations.
And students of Bridgeport High School, welcome back to school for this academic year. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we're all facing challenges and are learning to cope in a new normal. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The last few months has been challenging for all. And we understand the anxiety you must be feeling with having your children return to school in the middle of a pandemic with all the new protocols and regulations, which can be a bit overwhelming. No need to worry. We here at Bridgeport High School have you and your children in mind. As such, we have been working overtime to prepare the campus for their safe return.
Our safety protocols begin at the entrance, where each person entering the compound will be sanitized and have their temperature taken. The wearing of a mask is mandatory, and we ask that all students wear a Bridgeport High School mask or a surgical mask. Parents, remember, keeping your child safe at school starts with you screening them from home. Therefore, if your child has any flu-like symptoms or may not be feeling well, please allow them to stay home. Our campus is equipped with several hand washing stations strategically placed to ensure our students are able to wash hands and sanitize regularly.
The health and wellness of our staff and students here at Bridgeport High School is of paramount importance. We have our regular sick day for students or staff who may fall ill. But in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have set up an isolation area where any staff or student who present with COVID-like symptoms will be taken to this area where they will be isolated until they receive further treatment.
Our classrooms are organized to ensure 6 feet physical distancing, as well as our corridors and walkways are clearly marked out with 6 feet markers to ensure our students and staff maintain social distancing. We also have posters posted on the wall as a reminder to our students to wear their masks, wash their hands, and maintain physical distance.
We are the security and ancillary team. We are here to keep you safe and healthy.
Your psychological and emotional well-being continue to be of utmost importance to us. As such, your guidance counselors will be here to offer you psychosocial support both face-to-face, using the COVID-19 protocols, and online.
We are here for you. We have your best interest at heart.
Technology is the key to ensuring that our students' educational needs are adequately met. Currently, we are improving the technical capacity to facilitate online classes. Our teachers are being trained for online engagement using Google Classroom and the Zoom platform.
Parents, guardians, and students
Until we work out the technical difficulties, I'm not sure what is happening with the video. I'm going to ask our nurse to make her presentation as we work out the technical issues that we are having. Our Nurse Henry, will be making a presentation at this time.
Pleasant good morning, everyone, to the staff at the Bridgeport High School, to our parents, and to our grade 10 students. Good morning, and I hope everyone is keeping safe during this time. The Bridgeport High School, the mission of the Bridgeport High School is that we are committed to providing quality healthcare services to both our students and staff on a daily basis by a professional registered nurse. Services rendered are treatment of minor injuries such as cuts and bruises, sprains and strains, headache, abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. We also assist students to the doctor or the hospital as the need arises, providing that your consent forms would have been signed by your parents for us to carry out these measures on their behalf. We also do health education and health promotion activities in the sick bay. I will now jump to a very burning topic that all of us are concerned about. And that is the reason why, this is the reason why we have to be on online classes and not face to face. The coronavirus or COVID-19. What is the coronavirus? Many of you would have already known what it is, but I will just reiterate some information. The coronavirus is a virus that causes infection in the nose, throat, and sinuses, and can ultimately affect the respiratory system. So this virus has an affinity for the respiratory system. What are the signs and symptoms of this coronavirus? Persons who are infected may experience a sore throat, coughing, shortness of breath, fever, and that fever is above 37.5 degrees Celsius or 98.5 degrees Fahrenheit. They might also experience chest pains, chills, rapid heartbeat, breathing difficulties, and end stage of this, you can have pneumonia or kidney failure. How is this virus spread? This virus is spread by droplets when we cough or when we sneeze. So whenever somebody is infected and if they cough or sneeze, the droplet, you can contact it if that you come into contact with that infected droplet. The mandate of the Ministry of Health as well as the World Health Organization, the aim is to stop the spread of this virus. And remember, this virus, it does not discriminate whether you're rich, you're poor, you're black, you're white. It does not discriminate. Everyone can get it, and it has the potential to kill you. And as if you guys have been reading and listening to the news, over 70 persons in Jamaica right now have succumbed to coronavirus. And so our aim is to stop the spread of this virus. One of the ways in which we can curtail or stop the spread is to wash your hands frequently with soap and running water. This will help. Remember, our hands, we use them to do almost everything. So when we need to wash our hands frequently to prevent any transmission of the virus in our nose or in our mouths. We ask that you use a reliable hand sanitizer. And when I say reliable, there are many hand sanitizers on the market right now that have not been approved. And these, if you use these sanitizers, they can affect you, as we have seen an article in the Sunday Gleaner pointing out to the dangers of using unauthorized sanitizers. So ensure your parents buy you a reliable hand sanitizer. The wearing of your mask. This is of paramount importance because the droplets comes from our mouths and our nose. So it is imperative that we wear our mask and wear it in the correct way. It must cover your nostril, it must cover your mouth in order to protect you from the passage of this coronavirus. For those who are asthmatics, it is recommended that you use the medical masks, which are more breathable. Right now, the school has masks. I've tested myself. It's very breathable. So if and when we return to school, that can be used. We also ask that you maintain physical distancing. So now is not the time for the hugging, the plane, and things like that. We advise persons to maintain their physical distancing of 6 feet so that we do not come into contact with anyone. Remember, the virus is now spread through community spreading. We don't know who have the virus. There are persons who are infected with the virus, but they are termed asymptomatic because they are not showing any signs and symptoms, but they have the virus. We do not know who have it, so therefore we have to take all the necessary precautions and treat everyone as if they have the virus. So maintain your social or physical distancing. Even though you will not be in school, but remember you have to go out on the road. Some persons have to accompany their parents to the supermarket. Please maintain the physical or social distance whenever you go out. In order to fight off any microorganism, whether it's a bacteria, whether it's a fungi, whether it's a virus, our immune systems must be working at an optimal level. So ways in which we can boost our immune system are eat a healthy diet, especially our fruits and our vegetables, which are shown to build our immune system. Drink plenty water. Rather than drinking the sweet soda, the sweet juice, eliminate some of those sweet juice and drink more water. Water tends to flush your systems of any form of toxins that may enter it. Take your supplements. Parents, you can give your children supplements, vitamin C's, multivitamin, numerous types are available. You can go to your local pharmacy and ask about what they have and the one that you think will be best for you or your children. You need to get sunlight and fresh air. I know that now that the children are home, they tend to stay indoors. Yes, that will keep them out of trouble, but also they need to go outside in their yards or on their veranda. They need to get a little sunshine and they need to do some deep breathing exercise to get in some fresh oxygen and to release the carbon dioxide, which will help to purify their bloods and keep them healthy. We need to learn to reduce stress. It's a very stressful time that we are living in. Now the students will be online. Some of the computers will malfunction. They might not hear what the teacher have to say. It can cause them stress. So parents, I'm asking you, please speak with your children. Find out what is going on. If everything is going on okay with them, so that if they have any stress, you can alleviate it. And our school also has the guidance and counsel department that they can speak to any one of the members of the guidance council so that they can alleviate the stresses that may come up in their lives. Maintain good health. So we ask that the good hygiene, we ask that they practice coughing etiquette. If you have to cough, you need to cough in your elbow. If you have any little runny nose, you dispose of the tissue in a safe and proper manner so that it does not infect anyone. Health education measures that we promote are we encourage our parents and students to do the following. The children will be at home. We are asking parents, please ensure that they eat a healthy breakfast in the mornings before they join for class. You might have heard the old adage that says, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And yes, it turns out to be true, as the eating of breakfast has been shown to improve memory, improve the children's memory. Studies show that children that eat breakfast tend to have improved cognitive skills and perform better at school. As a result, they also have improved concentration, better test scores, and increased energy. So I'm asking you, please ensure that the children eat in the morning before they go to school. We ask that you self-medicate them if they're not feeling well. I know our ladies might have the regular abdominal pain. Give them something at home so that they don't lie in bed and sleep and miss class. Remember, they are still at school. For our asthmatic, please take your medication in order to prevent any attacks, etc. I must touch on the part of sleep. It is important that the children go to their bed early at night. Remember, they are still at school. Even though they are home, they are still at school. I know our minds are very powerful. The moment we are at home, our mind tells us we are at home, but we have to retrain the mind. Let the mind know we are at school. So the children need to go to their bed early at night so that they can get ample sleep, 8 hours, so that they can, because sleep has been shown to improve concentration and productivity, increase problem solving skills, memory, and performance in both adults and children, as well as it improve our immune function, because it is while we are resting, our organs are being replenished. And all studies has also shown that deprivation of sleep has shown to impair brain functions. I also ask that whenever we return to school, please let your children know your phone number and where you work so that in case we have to reach you, it will not be a problem. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Henry. And before we move on, I noticed that there are some persons who have their hands up. They invite you to type your questions in the chat. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to invite you just to type your questions. Nearing to the end, we will have a question and answer segment. So you can go ahead and type your questions. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please go ahead and type them in the chat and we will address the issues a little later. At this time, we're going to invite a presentation from our guidance department. While the video is being prepared, I want to thank you for being on. For persons who are here, please remember that once you sign in to any platform for any school related activities, we ask that you sign in with your full name and your class. We had allowed persons in, but in the future, first name, last name, and your class.
You. So, welcome back, students. We are very happy to have you with us once again and look forward to a productive new school year. We would like to remind you that your guidance counselors, Mrs. Holmes Forbes, Miss Meir, and Mrs. Fraser Brown, remain committed to your psychological and emotional well being, especially in these very uncertain and unpredictable times. We know that you may be feeling a little stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, and all sorts of other unpleasant emotions. But we want to assure you that we will be providing as much psychosocial support as you may need to help you to get through these trying times. As part of our efforts to help you to adapt to our new normal and to cope with the negative effects of the situation, we have created a 5R plan. Remind, reinforce, reassure, refocus, relaxation. We are going to be reminding you of the COVID-19 protocols, do's and don'ts for before, during, and after school. We are going to be reinforcing the behaviors that we want you to engage in. We are going to be encouraging the positive behaviors and discouraging the negative ones. We are going to reassure you through psychosocial support. We're going to be talking about how you are feeling, how you are doing, and teach you healthy ways to cope. We are going to refocus your learning because learning must continue. We are going to teach you relaxation techniques and help you to practice them. You have a part to play as well. We are asking you to cooperate with us as we help you to adapt to this new normal in a safe and non-stressful way. Together we can and we will. If you are struggling to cope or have any other concerns at school or home that you may need help with, reach out to us by direct call or WhatsApp. Our three numbers are 876 213 4856, 876 325 5964, and 876 288 2022. We are ready and waiting to connect with you and help you to get through it. If you are at school, you may also ask your teacher's permission to visit the guidance department. In closing, we would like to leave this quote with you to remind you that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to continue in spite of fear. We are looking forward to seeing
Thank you very much from the guidance department. I have been told that there are some students who do not know their names. That's okay. Even if you don't know your name, I'm sorry, they don't know their form classes. If you don't know your form classes, it's okay for today. We will be ensuring that everyone gets that information in short order. So just use your full names. So if you don't know your form class, it's okay for today. Just use your full names. That will suffice. But in the future, please, your full name and your form class. At this time, we're going to be having a presentation from our Dean of Discipline, Mrs. Coley. Mrs. Coley? Mrs. Coley, if you raise your hand, I'll find you a little quicker, please. All right, I'm not sure what is happening. Maybe Mrs. Coley got bumped out. I know she was in the meeting a few minutes ago. So it's technology, and technology sometimes does not cooperate. So we will look for Mrs. Coley and try to readmit her into the meeting. Um, and then until we hear from Mrs. Coley, I'm going to invite our grade supervisor, one of your grade supervisors, Miss Ferron, to address you briefly. Miss Ferron.
Thank you, Miss Beckford. Good morning to you all. Good morning to our principals, our teachers, parents, and guardians, and most of all to our grade 10 students. I do trust that you're all doing well. As Miss Beckford said, I am Miss P. Ferron, and I am sure that if not all of you know me, most of you would have known me since I'm a familiar face that has been in the school's canteen. So I have interacted with a lot of you. I may not know all the names, but I am sure I can remember all the faces. Grade 10 is a continuation of your vision and your strides to achieving your goal or your goals, because what you will find is that each of us will have more than one goal. And oftentimes, one goal will take you to another goal. It is a time when you will realize that you will be doing much fewer subjects than when you were in grade 9. However, I'm going to ask you not to become complacent because of this fact. Grade 10 is a period when you will be required to put in greater amounts and quality of work. SBA assignments for all subject areas will be a highlight in your studies at grade 10. So there's going to be a need for greater emphasis on these areas and emphasis on your overall self-development. I am sure that you will all be enjoying all of the activities in grade 10, including your SBAs. And I can assure you, that you will find that these SBAs will not only provide meaningful grades prior to you sitting your exams in grade 11, and some of you will be sitting exams in grade 10 as well, those of you who are on the accelerated program, but you will find that it will also help to develop your intellect and your knowledge-based skills, including critical thinking skills. Because let me just remind you that in completing your CXC exams successfully, there is a great demand for critical thinking. So when we practice, when we do these SBAs, it will broaden your knowledge base. And when you have that knowledge, and then your teachers guide you into how to reason out these problems to find solutions, then you will find that your critical thinking skills would have been developed or improved. I implore you to be the best at Bridgeport High School. I'm going to ask that you develop a plan for success. Put your thoughts together well. Put your thoughts together in an organized way. Organize the resources you plan to utilize to achieve your success. Choose a quiet space for learning and be on time for your classes. Set deadlines and meet all deadlines. Identify and engage positive partnerships. Partnerships with teachers, parents, peers, mentors, and of course, there are others. Make yourself a brand. Make yourself a brand when you leave Bridgeport High School. Let it be that you can say to yourself, I am, and of course, you're going to call your name. The next, and you're going to state that career path, who attended Bridgeport High School. So, for example, I am Miss Ferron. The next, master teacher who attended Bridgeport High School. Leave positive footprints behind you and make your strides with great enthusiasm and with pride. Keep evaluating your performance during your course of study. Is it excellent? Is it good? Is it poor? Does it need improvement? And if that is the case, how can I improve it? You call on all the resource persons around you to assist you in improving your areas of weakness. Are you satisfied with where you are? Ask yourself these things. What changes can I make to become what I want to be? These are areas that you will need to keep revolving in your mind at all time. Keep turning it over and over in your mind. Don't just let it sit at one place in your mind. Keep reminding yourself every day, and you will find that it will help to motivate you to greatness. This is your grade supervisor, Miss P. Ferron. I look forward to working with you. And I'm going to say again, be the brand you want to be. And let me now wish you lots of blessings and do have a great day. Thank you.
All right, good morning, students, morning, parents, teachers. We want to welcome you back, students, to school. We know that it's a bit strange for you because you would have been here physically, but we understand what's happening with the coronavirus. All right, before I begin, I want to address a few things. Students, we are observing the chat, and your behavior in the chat is unacceptable. You are in a meeting, and as such, you need to conduct yourself appropriately. The chat is to be used only for questions relating to the meeting that we're having. And I've seen where several staff members have been speaking to the same set of students who continue to have chats and you're posting emojis and all sort of nonsense in the chat. Please to stop it now. We have had this orientation with the younger students on Tuesday and yesterday, and we did not have this issue. You are now 10th graders, you are senior students, so we expect that you're going to conduct yourself accordingly. So anybody else who puts anything in the chat that is unrelated to what is going on now, you are going to have serious issues. All right. We're going to address that. The second thing is, some of you, if you are not in your school uniform, please to close your camera. You are advised prior to orientation that you are to be in your polo shirt, your PE top, or your school uniform. So we're going to ask you to close your camera if you are not properly attired for this forum. All right. We are here and we know that we're going to be on the online platform. All the school rules apply. We are committed to cultivating a culture of excellence in all areas of our students' life. As such, our students are expected to conduct themselves in an orderly and respectful manner in keeping with the school rules and regulations. Each student, and by now you are 10th graders, so you'd have had your handbook. So by now you should be well aware of the school rules and the sanctions that apply. Parents, if you're online and you're listening, please refresh yourself, have the students refresh themselves with the school rules and the sanctions that apply. For the online platform, this is an overview of what is expected of you. We expect no less of you in the online space. So you're expected to be on time for all your classes. If you are consistently late or absent for your class, you will face possible suspension, and that will have implications for your graduation. We don't want, at the end of the day, you're saying you did not know. So we're making it clear to you that absence and lateness on the online platform is the same sanctions that as if you were in school physically. So we're going to ask parents to ensure that the students wake up, do what they need to do so they can log on. Exemplary conduct is required while engaging in online classes and in the WhatsApp group. And I'm going to pause here for a minute, and I'm going to speak to you directly about the WhatsApp group. I have been observing some of the WhatsApp groups, and your conduct in the WhatsApp group, again, is very inappropriate. These groups that are formed for classes and grades, they are for school purposes only. If you want to have a conversation with your friends, please do so outside of the group. Your language and your conduct in the WhatsApp group must be professional and respectful at all times. We're asking that you do not engage in suggestive comments, conversation, bullying, indecent language, and quarrels on the online platform. Again, these all come with a disciplinary sanction. Students who insist on being defiant and continue to breach the school rules and regulations will be referred to the school board for disciplinary sanction and possible expulsion. So I don't want you to believe that because you are online, you're going to get away with things. As a matter of fact, let me explain this to you. The online platform allows the Dean of Discipline to be everywhere all the time, because I'm able to be in one place, in more than one place at the same time. So please be warned, you are not going to get away with the indiscipline. Cyberbullying, inappropriate videos, posts, and pictures are all prohibited. Students in breach, again, will face disciplinary actions. Now, once you begin your classes October 5th, when you are signing on, whatever picture you have for your WhatsApp status that you're going to use for the groups, for the school, needs to be an appropriate picture. So you should not be scantily clad. There should be no puppy face or whatever emojis on your face. We need to have clear pictures of you so we can identify who you are. We don't want any rude comments. So ensure that your WhatsApp pictures are clear. You must dress appropriately in school uniform, which is, I just said to you, your polo shirt or your PE top. You must log on to your classes with your camera and with your full name, no aliases. So we need to see your full name. If you do not log in with your full name and your uniform, you may be excluded from classes. You must use professional language in the virtual classroom at all times. Next slide, please. You must remain online for the duration of your classes. Just as if you are at school in your physical class, you are not allowed to be in and out of the classroom. We expect the same principle to apply online. So you organize yourself prior to the start of your class to ensure that if it's whatever it is that you need to use the bathroom, do so before classes so that you remain in the online classes for the duration of the time. We're asking you to mute your microphones and use the raise hand features when you need to speak, or you unmute if the teacher advises you to do so. Other than that, please mute your microphone. I just addressed this, that you are not to use the chat for any discussion that is unrelated to the class, and to be respectful to your teachers, just as when you were in the physical space. Disciplinary actions will be applied for students who are in breach of the rules and guidelines for online classes. I am ensuring students that I reiterate this and I reinforce it so you are well aware that we are still in school and discipline must be upheld. For the parents who are online, we are happy to have you, and I'm going to lay out some guidelines for the parents as well, because we need your support to ensure that we have a successful school year. So we're asking that you be involved. Parents' involvement helps our students to learn to build school ethos and helps the teachers to work with you parents to help your child or ward succeed. We're going to ask you to provide the resources at home for learning. I know by now most of us would have been told that we need to invest in a device for our children, and we're going to ask to a laptop or a tablet. The cell phones don't have the capacity to do what is necessary for them to be effective with their schoolwork. So we know it's difficult. We're going to ask you to invest in that. Also to encourage the students to read more, to use the YouTube and all the online platform to find videos that are edifying to them and will help them with their schoolwork. And of utmost importance, we're going to ask you parents to identify a suitable space for your child to work. You're going to set up this area as the area for school. The bed and so on is not suitable. Earlier on, I saw some persons lying down in bed. And we're in a school forum. So parents, we're going to ask you to set up an area and for them so they know that this is the area for school, and also do not assign them any chores or any activities during their timetable period to be in class. So we do not want students to be absent and in and out of class because you're sending them to the shop or they have to wash the dishes or they have to do some chores. Please do not do that. We're going to ask you, please. We're going to ask you to support the school rules and the goals. Take care not to undermine the school rules, discipline, or goals. And today is a primary example. We are asking that the students be in uniform, and I'm observing parents who are sitting with students who are not properly dressed for this school function. And so I'm going to ask you parents, I know it is new and all of this is we're all getting used to it, but please to follow the guidelines, the online protocols that are set out and the school rules. And we're going to ask you to call teachers early if you think you're having a problem. Do not wait until 2-3 months down the line. Then you're going to be coming to the school to say you weren't hearing from the teacher, you weren't getting the notes, you weren't in this class. By that time, it may be too late for us to assist you. The front office is open and persons are there willing and ready and able to direct you for you to get assistance. So please do that early. Accept your responsibility as parents. Please, this is a time, parents, where you have to manage what's happening at home because the children will be at home physically for their classes. And so you have to take the responsibility and not depend on the teachers. You have to take the responsibility to ensure that they're doing their work, monitor them, ensure that they get up on time, ensure that they follow through with the assignments, ensure that they're posting their assignments, ensure that they're reading. You have to take on that responsibility and don't rely on the teachers. Finally, parents, we want you to remember that we are in this together. Your partnership is critical during these unusual times to ensure your students learn. We all want the best for our students. We all want the best for Bridgeport High School. And so we are asking that you partner with us, that you work with us as we work with you to ensure that the students, go over this hurdle and we all get through it together. With that, I will close and I will wish you students, your senior students now, I expect you to conduct yourself in an orderly and respectful manner. And we have a productive, incident free, very disciplined, and well behaved, successful school year. All the best.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Coley. We're going to be continuing our presentations. We're doing very well in terms of our time. At this time, I'm going to be addressing you. I'm Miss Beckford, and I'm going to be the vice principal this year, responsible for the blue shift. Now, I want to reiterate the welcome that has been done. You are in a new grade. You are in a new grade, in a new period where a lot of things are new. You're going to be taking up subjects. You're going to be engaging in learning in a new platform. You're going to have to learn from home. Now, before I came on, a teacher sent me a message, and Mrs. Coley, please make note, and I'm intentionally doing this online. A teacher sent me a message to say that there is someone with the last name Hilton who was not being very professional on the platform. Hilton, we will get in touch with you after this. Students,
Note.
Yes, miss, thank you very much. As you can see, students, we're going to have to hit the ground running. We're going to have to hit the ground running. We would have missed out on some months in the last school year, and we're off to a late start for this school year. You are in grade 10, and you have to start doing everything right from day one, because we do not have the time. You do not have the time. Yes, you are going to be doing less subjects this year. However, you have more work to do with the fewer subjects. So I don't want you to be thinking that, oh, last year you did so many subjects and this year you're only doing 7 or 8. It is a lot of work. CXC preparation begins from today. Your preparation for CXE exam at the end of grade 11 begins now. CXE is a 2-year program, which means everything that you learn this year, you will have to remember it for the CXE exams that you're going to be doing next year. Hence, we have to hit the ground running. You have to start working early. And by early, I mean the very first day you have classes with your teachers. Mrs. Coley has already said it, and I'm not going to repeat what she said, but I just want you to understand that you have to get going from day one. Get your resources together. You know that you're going to have classes. Get up before the class. Nurse said it. Have your breakfast. Have your books. Have your make sure your internet is up and running. Make sure your computer or whatever it is that you're using is up and running. Get your textbooks, your notebooks, your pens, your pencils. Get your things together for class so that once you come to class, you don't have to be running around to look for this and look for that. Get yourselves together. We are in school. Even though we're going to be online, you are going to be in classes, and we're expecting you, as Mrs. Coley said, for you to operate even better than you would while you would have been in the physical class with your teachers. We are not expecting you not to be in class. We're expecting you to attend all your classes. As I said before, CXC begins from day one. And rest assured, students, we are now in the big boy and big girl club, which means that we do not have the time for the foolishness. So the persons who were clowning around on YouTube and you're clowning around in front of the camera, believe me when I tell you, as your teachers in grade 10 and grade 11, we do not have the time for it. We have 3 years worth of work that we have to get through with you in 2 years. And of course, we've lost some of the time already. Again, we do not have the time for the clowning around. We do not have the time to be sending you out to go to the guidance department because you cannot control yourself for Miss to ask Miss Coley to assist her. We don't have the time. We do not have the, you see how many times I'm saying it? We do not have the time. So I'm imploring you, start day one. I know you have been out of class for a little while, and I am aware that some of you would have forgotten how you are to behave. And that is why we're going to do orientation in a different way with you next week. So we're going to ensure that you are in a class setting with a teacher. So there are going to be far less of you, and we're expecting you just to remind yourselves what is expected in a class setting. You are going to be facing a number of challenges. And apart from the subjects, and apart from meeting, for the most part, all new teachers, apart from having to work from home and listen, I know that some of you may have challenges at home in terms of just getting the work done at home because there are so many things that are going to be distracting you. You have to ensure that you know what you want, and if things are not in place, find solutions for your problems. You cannot just throw up your hand in the air, oh, me can't bother. Find solutions for your problems. If you cannot come up with a solution for a problem on your own, speak with one of your teachers. The guidance department has given you some numbers. You can call them. You don't only have to wait until a teacher sends you to Mrs. Coley because you're not behaving. I'm sure Mrs. Coley will be able to and would be willing to listen to you and help you to work out any issues that you may have that would prevent you from being a part of the class or participating fully in the class. You have your subject teachers, you have your form teachers, you have your grade supervisors, you have your vice principal, you have your principal, you have your guidance counselors, you have the nurse. There are a lot of persons who are here, and we are more than willing to assist you as you try to find your footing. However, I want to say again, we don't have the time for waste. Students, at the end of grade 11, you will reap what you sow. The CXE results came out yesterday, and I looked briefly. I teach geography. So last year I had a geography group, and I looked briefly at the results for the students who did geography. And let me share with you what I noticed. The students who listened well and did what I asked them to do in terms of their projects, who came to classes, who went over the notes that I told them to go over, and who followed instructions, were the students who passed the exams. the students who did not follow instructions. So we give them work to do and they didn't do homework, they didn't do their projects well. Even if they did it, they just did a little thing and didn't make the corrections that we were telling them to make. Those persons did not do so well. Students, whatever you put in, that is what you're going to get out. So you can do well. And I know that this is a hard period for some persons. And I know that there are some persons who are struggling. I know that some of you may have situations where your mother or father would have lost jobs. So it's really hard. We know and we are with you and we are here to support you. But listen to me. The best thing that you can do is do your best in terms of attending your classes, doing your work, so that you can, at the end of grade 11, be proud. Make your parents proud because you would have got ones and twos in your exams. From day one, your teachers are going to be watching you to see how well you're performing. So I'm going to implore you to set goals. Know what you want. We're having a little issue with the videos. I have a video that I wanted to play for you, but maybe next week I'll have your form teachers play it for you. Set goals. Set goals and work towards achieving goals. And setting goals doesn't mean that I'm going to say, oh, I want to be a medical doctor and I skull every class. Or when I come into the class, I make a clown of myself, or I don't do my homework. When you set those long-term goals, look, what am I going to do today that will help me to achieve my goals? One of the other things that you may have to do is you may have to shed dead weight. Dead weight would be anything that would distract you from your schoolwork. So I know that you would have been best friends with your phones and with the television and with the internet for a little while now. It's school time now. So that is going to be dead weight because it's going to hold you back. You must put aside all those things and focus on the important thing. What are the important things? Using your time wisely so that you can achieve what your goals. Please, one of the other things that I want to help you with is, I know it's going to be a little hard. Normally, the transition from grade 9 to grade 10 is a little difficult on a number of levels. One, you're on a different shift. Two, you're going to be meeting totally new teachers for the most part. Three, you're doing subjects that may be a little different than what you were doing before in terms of the approach. Now, last year, when you were doing your work, you would have been getting really, really, really good grades, some of you, and there are some persons who were really not doing as much as they ought. But this year, you're going to have to buckle down and do a little better. So one of the first things that I want you to do is to ensure that you know the subjects that you are doing. So most persons should know by now what subjects you're doing because we would have posted that at school from August, I think. Know the subjects that you're doing, know the names of your teachers, write it in your book. I am doing geography and my teacher is Miss Wilson. I'm doing um, RE and my teacher is Mrs. V, to write down the subject and the name of the teacher for each subject so that if it is that you're in a little problem and you want to find somebody to help you, you can say, Miss, I'm having a problem with Miss Beckford, my geography teacher. Yes? So make sure you know the names of your teachers, please. It's very, very important. If you are having issues with the subjects that you're doing, we will give you an opportunity to speak, to engage with your grade supervisors next week. Um, and so they can help you in terms of settling. Again, I'm not going to go much longer, students. You are at a major, major point in your life where you're going to get ready to launch into the specific subjects that you need to take you into your careers. It is extremely important that you take this year, this period, very, very seriously. And listen, we are asking you to grow up a little faster than you would. Because normally you would have the teachers running behind you. We can't run behind you because you're there yard. So we're going to ask you to self-regulate, control yourself. Get up, as nurse said, eat breakfast in between classes, have a snack, wait until after class for you to go do whatever it is that you want to do. We're asking you, students, please self regulate and make sure that you behave in a responsible way. I am going to end in the same way that I started. Grade 10 students, those of you who are on Zoom, grade 10 students, those of you who are on YouTube now, those of you who are going to be watching later, you must hit the ground running. Thank you very much. And at this time, we're going to invite our senior vice principal, Mrs. Palmer, who is going to be sharing a little more with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Beckford. Students, good morning again. Those who were late in joining us, both on YouTube and via Zoom, a pleasant morning to you. I want to thank Ms. Beckford and all the other presenters that spoke with you since morning. And I do hope, students, that you will realize that you must hit the ground running. For those of you who might not understand what it means, I think you need to think of it very carefully and see how best you can understand what it means to hit the ground running. Now, we are in a pandemic, as you know, and we have to be working online. Now, most of you have demonstrated how good you are at being distracted. Now, we want to encourage you, try not to be distracted. This is not a time to be distracted. You have to stay focused, as you heard earlier. You will have 2 years to complete 3 years or more worth of work. You are indeed doing less subjects, and you may think that, okay, I have some free time, I can do this, that, and that. Remember now, I learned from primary school, and I did not know what it meant. Procrastination is the thief of time. Procrastination is the thief of time. Let us not put off what can be done today for tomorrow. With that said, I want to encourage you to log on to your own class Zoom orientation on October 1, October 1. So Thursday, October 1 is your day for your class orientation. Now I see that some of you may not know what classes you are in. I'm going to encourage you, if it is at all, that you can come and see. We have it posted at school, or if you can get in touch with Mr. Beal, who was your grade 9 supervisor, I'm sure he will be able to assist you. And I'm almost sure I was told yesterday by Ms. Rodolph that it is posted somewhere. I'll get that for you. And tell you where else you can find the listing of which class you are and the subject, possibly what you are doing. But your best bet is to speak to Mr. Beal. You won't get it wrong. So let me just tell you now how it is that you will log on for your class orientation. So Thursday, October 1, we begin at 9. To be on time, we must be before time. So I'm going to ask you to log in 10 minutes before 9 on October 1, Thursday, October 1. Log in at 10 minutes to 9. So your Zoom orientation will be from 9 to 10:30. The classes that will have their activity from 9 to 10:30 is 10 arts, 10 BEA, 10 BEB. So these grades, 10 arts, 10 BEA, 10 BEB, your login time is 10 minutes to 9, and your session begins at 9 o'clock to 10:30. For the grades BEC, 10 BEC, 10 BED. That's 10 BEC and 10 BED. Your login time is 10 minutes to 11. 10 minutes to 11, 10 BEB, sorry, 10 BEC and 10 BED. Your orientation time is 11 to 12:30. So 11 to 12:30, we have BEB, BEC, I don't know why I keep saying BEB, BEC and BED, 11 to 12:30. Login time at 10 minutes to 1 is for 10 HEA, 10 HEA, 10 HEB, 10 HEC, 10 HEA, 10 HEB, 10 HEC. Your login time is 10 minutes to 1, and your orientation time is between 1 and 2:30. Orientation time between 1 and 2:30, login time 10 minutes to 1. At 10 minutes to 3, at 10 minutes to 3, grades 10 ITA, 10 ITB, 10 ITC, your orientation block is 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So that's 10 ITA, 10 ITB, 10 ITC, your login time 10 minutes to 3, and your orientation schedule is 3 to 4:30. Now students, you will all use the platform at different scheduled times. Please be on time for your particular grade orientation. Now, each class, you will be in your own room with your form teacher. Your grade supervisor will come in and speak with you and leave to speak with another group. So you must be on time for your class. When you sign in, if you notice today, you had to sign in using your full name and your class. It's the same thing on Thursday, October 1. You must log in using your full name and your class. If you do not log in with your full name and your class, you will not be able to participate in the orientation. And please remember that the registers will be taken, and you don't want to be absent from the orientation, and you don't want to be absent from your class. Log in with your full name and your class. The room that you are assigned, you will be sent to the room. A dialog box will come up on your computer, your screen, whatever device you're using. A dialog box will come up and it will ask you to join. So you will hit the join button and it will take you straight to your class. If it is that we don't know your class and we don't know your name, for example, some persons, they sign in with Galaxy Tab. We don't know who is Galaxy Tab, so you will not be able to go to a class. So when you are sent to the class, you use your join button. Please remember, it is very important that you remember, students, life for you is now beginning. You are tech savvy. You can hide all kinds of things on the internet, and we older folks who are not so savvy like you will laugh at us because you will say, I'm going to do it and then can't find out who. But let me remind you that we are in a digital space. And in this digital space, we lay our digital footprints. These footprints on this digital space cannot be erased. You may use an alias But rest assured and remember, if it is that we have to trace you because of your bad behavior or because of something you input on the system, you will be found. You may say, I made a mistake and I want to remove it, and it is removed. It is never removed. So I want to encourage you, think before you act. When you are seeing your friends and you tell them something you should not say, and you can easily say, oh, I'm sorry, and it can be erased, or you write in your book and you write something wrong and you can rub it out, white it out, or anything like that. It cannot be done on this space. So, what am I saying to my lovely students, handsome boys and beautiful girls? I want your character to be as handsome boys or gentlemen and beautiful young ladies. Whatever comes from our minds and come from our mouths and our fingers will place on the platforms must be impeccable. We want to say, there goes our best students. We want to say at the end of it all that it was good for us to have you as students. We are looking forward to having you back face to face. But until then, and we have to use this digital space, as we stay distant in this space, we want to stay close to each other. You know, we love and appreciate you, and I'm sure you all have your special persons here in the form of teachers. Be the best that you can be. We are here for you, and we are here to continue to help you to cultivate this culture of excellence. Do have yourselves a wonderful day. It was my pleasure speaking with you. Ms. Beckford?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Palmer. Uh, we're coming down nicely. Now, I had spoken to you as Mrs. Roberts Clark gets ready. We have been speaking to you with regards to your exams, and I know some persons may say that it is a bit early because I just reached grade 10 and I'm tell you about this already. But we want to ensure that you are properly prepared for your exams. So at this time, I'm going to invite the examination coordinator, external examination coordinator, Mrs. Roberts Clark, to speak with you. She's going to talk to you about CXC matters. Mrs. Clark.
Thank you, Miss Beckford. Good morning, everyone. A special welcome to our hardworking principal, Mrs. Harris, and to all the vice principals, teachers, parents, and students. Welcome to a new school year. Now, this morning, I would like to share with you examination information, and that is external examination information. Students, you can read with me a quote from Albert Einstein. It reads, "Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything he learned in school." That's a very good quote because, of course, we forget. But the fact remains that we have our documents to say that we have learned in school. Now, the Bridgeport High School offers 3 different bodies of examinations: CSEC and CAPE, which the main body is CXC. So most times students would say they're doing CXC, but for the grade 9, 10, and 11, CSEC is offered to those students, and for the grade 12 and 13, CAPE is offered.
Excuse me, Mrs. Clark.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. Is it possible for you to make your screen a little bigger? If you look at the bottom right-hand section, bottom right, The plus sign.
Oh, the percentage?
Yes. No, the plus sign. Go across.
Oh, hold on. The plus sign.
Yes.
Oh,
Go to the right. Yes. Right. And you can scroll up so that we can see a little better. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Is it
you.
better?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Miss. Okay, so let me just go again. So at Bridgeport High School, we offer 3 different bodies of examinations. The CXC, which is CSEC and CAPE. The CSEC is offered to grade 9, 10, and 11. Grade 11 is our main body of students, but you know, for the accelerated, the grade 9 and 10 students would do exams. So the CSEC is, that exam is for the grade 9, 10, and 11, and the CAPE is for the grade 12 and 13 students. Not that other persons can't do CSEC, but the students will be doing CSEC now. It's the grade 9, 10, and 11. All right, so we also offer city and guilds. At present, it's only mathematics we're offering. NCT vet, another body, we offer cosmetology and electrical. Now, for students to do these exams, teachers will have to recommend students, and that's what we normally do. Now we have a small change in our policy where we allow students to do all the subjects that they are presently doing in grade 11. So students will not get much opportunity now or to say that they are not doing. So as long as they are doing the subject, they should do it in CXC. I know that I'm speaking to grade 10, but this information is vital and very important to you. So when you reach grade 11, you will be sitting all the subjects that you are presently doing now in the external examination. There is a small exception, and that is when a student is extremely weak in a subject area. Weak to the point where the teacher says that the child cannot manage to do the exam. Another exception is if we try and we try and we try and the student still have not done the SBA, then that student will not be sent up. So at the moment, students is getting the opportunity to start the SBA so a teacher can say yes. So students, I am encouraging you, some of you will get the SBAs in grade 10. So at least start your SBA and work on your SBA because you want to pass your exam and you want to move out of Bridgeport very successful. All right, on the point of registration. So registration for all examinations will be done in October. And we are at the end of September. So by we reach October, then all the students should be registered. There is a form that will be sent out for the grade 11 students and all the other students who will be sitting the 2021 CSEC and CAPE examinations. So it's a Google form and would like to capture all the students' personal information on the Google form. So if you are among this group now and you are doing CSEC, that means if you are in the accelerated program, you should get a Google form to populate because that is what is going to be used to register you. Okay, so for examinations and SBA, Ms. Beckford and I guess other persons mentioned SBA to students. I know some of you understand a little, but I'll give you some more information about SBA. So, and your examinations. So the examinations, CSEC examinations or CXC examinations have, or I should say there are 3 components
that are used to evaluate students' overall performance at the CSEC level. So you have a paper 1, which is a multiple choice, a paper 2, short answer and essay type questions, and the SBA itself. Students who fail to complete their SBA will be ungraded, or I can easily say you will be ungraded before you even enter the written part of the exam. So it makes no sense you don't do the SBA and present yourself at the exam. The SBA is extremely important. Now, what is SBA all about? This is an assignment given to students at different time of the year within the 2-year period. That's what Ms. Beckford explained to you. It must be completed and submitted by January prior to the May, June examination. So we are in September now, September, October, November, December. By January, your SBA should be emailed to your teachers, should be typed, corrected, because teachers will assist you in looking at your SBA and guide you, and you have to make your corrections and re-email to your teacher. It is very important, students, that you pay close attention to your SBA and corrections, because what you want is maximum grades for your SBA. So for human and social biology and Spanish, there are no SBAs for those 2 subjects. But we know that in future, for you grade 10, you might have it when you reach grade 11, because CXC, they are working on setting SBAs for those 2 subjects. But for now, there is no SBA for those subjects. All right, so I'll just go through this quickly. Functions of SBAs. The SBA is regarded as good assessment practice, but what function does it really serve? So these are some functions. It provides opportunity for the teacher to gather data on student performance over time. It provides a more reliable assessment of the student by those who know the students best, and those are the teachers. Teachers know you best, so it provides that reliable assessment. It serves to motivate students by engaging them in meaningful activities that are relevant to them. It reinforces curriculum aims and good teaching practices. It aligns assessment with curriculum and instruction. It provides students with multiple opportunities to demonstrate their competence. It allows students to be active participants in the assessment process. It gives credence and recognition to the teachers' informed judgments about students' performance, and it allows teachers to be critical leaders in the assessment process. So you will all get SBA apart from the 2 subjects that I said that does not carry SBA. So the SBA will come in different formats. These are some of the formats. Some of you will be asked to do portfolios, practicals, journals, dramatic presentations based on the subject that you are doing, research assignments, multimedia presentation, community projects, lab activities, including investigation, site visit, field trip. Not so sure how some will go based on the COVID, but as best as possible, I know teachers will work out the SBA with you. Some will get orals, case studies, sporting activities and event planning, designing or composing, and these are for some of the TVET subjects, because we offer cosmetology and electrical in the TVET subject. All right, so the fees for examinations, The fees that I'm about to show you, students, these fees are for 2020 exam. So normally CSEC would, or CXC rather, would make adjustment to the fees for 2021. So the fees that I'm showing you, do not hold me responsible for giving you fees, these fees for the current fees. They are fees for the last exam year. So for the entry fee, which is a one-time fee, students paid $4,600 per entry. That is just a one-time fee. For subject fee, $3,645. So that would be based on the number of subjects that you are doing. So you multiply the number of subjects by the 3,645. And as I say, these are last year. I keep reminding you that these are last school year fees. So Spanish has oral fees. So in addition, there is oral Spanish fee, which is $1,650. If you are doing any subject from the human ecology department, management, foods and textile, you would pay $1,340. In addition, that is for practical. And also there's a lab fee. Based on how it goes, then we will apply those fees to you. If you are doing theater arts, these are CXC practical fees, $2,220. And physical education, $2,870. Now, I know that there are going to be much changes, but I could not say exactly what they are, but you will be informed as soon as we get the information. And these are CAPE. I know you are not ready for CAPE, but these are CAPE fees, a little more than the CXC fee. Okay. All right. So I want you to listen carefully to the registration process. Whether you're in grade 10, whether you're preparing to do exam or not, it is extremely important, students, for you to know. For the registration process, we start with a recommendation. As I mentioned earlier, that some students, a small fraction of students might not be recommended. We want everybody to do the exam because that's why you're at Bridgeport, and that's why you keep growing so that you are able to do and pass your exam. So after the recommendation, students will get a voucher. So the exam coordinators will look at all the subjects that you are doing and do a quick total of the amount that you should pay, and then your parents would pick up the voucher at school. So when you get the voucher, you'll also get a deadline date when you are to pay and submit. So as I mentioned, pay and submit, payment and submission of voucher. So after you get the voucher, you will pay, but you're going to follow the date, the deadline date, and submit the paid voucher. So I am pausing to say, students, you have to take these very, very, very serious, because sometimes students would pay their exam and they have the voucher at home. And when the time pass, you hear the students say, Miss, upon investigation, you hear the students say that, Miss, my voucher is at home. I paid long time and they're feeling good about paying long time. But the interesting part of it is to submit the paid voucher, because without that, you're not registered. So it is very important to know that after you pay, you must submit the paid voucher. After you submit, information will be entered on the CXC website, the CXC system, and then a print will be done by the exam coordinators, and you will get that print to verify. So parents and students must look at the information thoroughly, check if your date of birth, your name, all of your personal information, check if all your subjects all the subjects that you are doing is there. Check the option, the subject option. Some subjects carry an option, like if you're doing religious education, you have different options like Christianity. What are the options now? Christianity. All right, that's to remind you of the option for Christianity. All right, if you are doing agri science, you have double award and you have single award. If you are doing theater arts, you have different options: dance making, play making. So you will have to ask your teacher to help you to identify the option for the different subjects, so you can check and ensure that the option is on the verification sheet. Because if you have a wrong option on the sheet, students, chances are you're going to pay to get it corrected. And most times it's when the deadline date has passed, then students realize that something is wrong. So I'm saying this, please, to remember to check your verification when they are given. So we have students here now in this group now that are going to do the exam, but others just pay attention to this information, and we will give you this information in your grade 11 classes for those who are not preparing to do exams. All right, so for subsidies, grade 10 students, I am imploring you to work extremely hard now, because your parents will be smiling when you work hard, and you will be smiling too, because the government will pay for 4 subjects. For CSEC, government will pay for 4 of your subjects, providing that you are presently doing them. The government will pay for maths, English, information technology, or EDPM, and a science subject. But they are not just going to do a wholesale payment. It comes with condition, meaning that you must earn 55% in the subject. So all the subjects that they will be paying for, you must earn 55%, at least 55%. So you can earn, I know you're going to work hard and get a higher percentage, but the least percentage is a 55 percentage. And for the students on path, the government will pay for up to 8 of your subjects. Up to 8, wow. Can you imagine if you work hard, your parents are good to go. 8 subjects, but guess what? It comes with condition also. 50% you have to get in your subject area. So it's a small decrease in percentage for the PAD students, but I know you're not going to work for 50%, you're going to work for more. But if you have 50% average, and that is the 2-year course that you're doing, overall performance, not any one exam, it's an overall performance for the 2-year, the 50% will allow the government to pay for 8 of your subjects. For persons who are doing the City and Guilds and the NCT vet, the government did pay for, in the past years, paid for those subjects. So we are hoping that the government will continue to pay for those subjects for the students who are doing these subjects. Another subsidy will come from National Commercial Bank, NCB. They normally pay for principles of business, principles of account, information technology. But again, condition. Students must earn 70% and over to have those, or to earn the subsidy from NCB. So I know students, you are going to work extremely hard so that you can get those. But please be reminded that when the government pays, there are other fees. So if the government pays for 4, you pay for the balance, and in addition, you would pay the other fees like the practical and the lab fees. And also, everyone will pay a processing fee. I'm not sure about the amount now, but you will hear as soon as possible. All right, so I'm moving on. Okay, this is finished. All right, so last but not least, the deadline date. Deadline dates for everything that I have mentioned, especially payments and submission of documents. Students, please take those dates seriously. Deadline dates must be taken seriously. Deadline dates not taken seriously will cost the parents. So all the parents who are listening, please take the deadline date seriously. So I know that because you know that you have students who are in grade 10 now and they will reach grade 11. So this is the time where you are going to put your monies aside. You're going to ensure that the students work harder on their SBAs, because they know that no SBA that is ungraded, and it wouldn't make sense for the students to be going to school and not doing the subjects at the end of the year, or do the subject and no SBA, they will get ungraded. So I end my presentation just to say to you, pay keen attention to your students and their SBA, pay keen attention to deadline dates, so that at the end of grade 11, you and the school, all of us, because we want your students to do well, so we will all feel pleased. Thanks very much for listening. This is the end of my presentation. Over to you, Miss Beckford.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Clark. Students, as Miss said, it is a little much, but it's extremely important, because remember I said your CXC preparation begins now. At this point, we're going to be hearing from our principal, Mrs. Harris. Over to you, Mrs. Harris.
Parents, students of grade 10, good morning. There are a couple things I have to say to you, and I'm going to ask you just to listen up. I just want to say, again, welcome to the academic year 2020-2021. It is a year that none of us had envisioned that would have started like this. We had made full preparations to begin school September 7th. That full preparation would have seen us looking at starting school with all of us together, coming to school in our normal fashion. It is not like that any at all. Parents, like my teachers, administrative staff, and all staff members here, students, all Jamaicans, right now we are operating in a modality that none of us had envisioned at all. And because we know that life must go on amidst COVID-19, we have to do what we must do in order to get along. At the end of this year, students will finish the grade 10 cohort. You will have to move on to grade 11 to do your externals, and you would have been spoken to by Mrs. Roberts Clark regarding examination, because CXC is a 2-year program. You would have, in terms at grade 9, seen half of your school year been out of the regular school system, and you're starting again in that way. But this time it is more on a structured form. We just want to welcome all parents, all guardians to school year 2020-2021. We are officially meeting with you for orientation today. Please note, students, parents, we're taking the register of all our students who have attended grade orientation, and we will be taking the register for all our students who will be attending class orientation. Please note that our meetings are recorded, so all of that which we would have communicated to you. Some persons may say they wouldn't have heard, they don't know. It's the first time they're hearing. Please take note. I'm going to ask you to ensure that you have your notepad. There are some things I'm going to be saying to you that you really, really, really need to remember at this time. Separate and apart from that, students, we will be posting the recording of the meetings on our social media platform. I just want to thank our host, and our host today for our meeting is Miss Beckford. She has been doing a wonderful job in terms of navigating the online platform. And all our presenters who came to us earlier, we want to also thank our, and Miss Beckford is your vice principal for the Blue Shift. Mrs. Taylor is on leave, and Miss Beckford is our acting VP. In addition, our senior vice principal, Miss Palmer, Mrs. Palmer, she would have spoken to you. We have Mr. Nelson, our vice principal for the Red Shift. Your grade supervisors this year is Miss Ferron. She would have addressed you as well. And working along with Miss Ferron is Mr. Smalling. Mr. Smalling is working along with Miss Ferron for grade supervisor for grade 10. Grade 10 is a very, very crucial, critical year that you are in. I must let you know that last school year, when we finish off in 2020, the students who did examinations for City and Guilds, they weren't able to sit a paper as do CXC. You know what they used for judging your work? It was the grade 10 work along with the grade 11 first semester summation of your internal assessments that were utilized to grade students. So we have to be in readiness mode for schooling. And today, students, when is it that we are getting ready if we hadn't done so before? And we are moving straight into schooling, fully online, starting October 5. You would have noticed that I've placed a couple of things in the chat for you. Please note, but I will be running through some of them in my presentation now. Grade 10 students, you were not given your book rental. These are the days that you must come in to collect your books. We wanted to get your rentals prior to October 5. These are the days that you are to come in: September 30th, Wednesday, September 30th. Surnames A to M. All of those students, you are to come in on Wednesday, September 30th for your rentals. For grade 10, with surnames N to Z, you are to come in Friday, October 2. So we are not expecting anyone, grade 10 student, to come in October 1 on Thursday, because October 1, Thursday, will be class orientation. That would have been outlined to you via your vice principal, Mrs. Palmer. If you had not done so, students, we're going to ask you to register your name in the chat along with your class, as well as those persons on YouTube. We ask that you do so we can get to register the persons who have been present for orientation. Parents, students, we're requesting your continuous full support and cooperation and commitment. I would have heard, I would have seen in the chat when I browse through in terms of some comments, but I will ignore making a comment on that, because I'm thinking with all the presentations that would have been made today, that we would have been converted and get ready for school. We are moving out of the zone of being petty and being irresponsible to being serious about what is it that we are going to be doing. You can achieve anything that you set out to do, students, if you're serious about what you're doing, and it must start today. So we're asking you, please, to ensure that you get in readiness mode starting now. On October 4, 2020, we will have our dedicatory service at the Portmore United Church. I know some of the students who are listening to me now in grade 10 are members of that church. Please come prepared and come to worship in your uniforms at church starting at 8:30. The church has its service live on YouTube at Portmore United and on Facebook, Portmore United Church. There will be limited number of persons in attendance, so the actual service at 8:30. And this will include 20 persons, 20 to 25 persons. These will include Dr. Levy, our chairman, myself, principal, vice principals, Mrs. Palmer, Mr. Nelson, and Ms. Beckford, our member of parliament, our newly elected member of parliament, Mr. Robert Miller. Mr. Robert Miller, will pause to congratulate Mr. Robert Miller, who is our newly elected member of parliament for Southeast St. Catherine constituency. I am indicating such and saying this congratulation publicly to let you know also that Mr. Robert Miller is a past student of Bridgeport High School, and he is now our member of parliament for the constituency in which our school is situated. So congratulations to Mr. Miller. So he will be in the service as well. Councillor Kennard Grant, he has been with us all the time. He will also be in the service. Our PTA President, Mrs. Suzette Lawrence, our grade supervisors, some students, and the parent executive members. All these persons will form part of our dedicatory service at the Portmore United Church. Everyone else, we're asking you parents and students just to link on to the Portmore United Church via YouTube and Facebook pages and join with us in service on that day. You would have heard from the guidance department in terms of help, counseling, online counseling, and so on, and support. I'm going to ask students who would have been given those numbers, parents who would have been given those numbers, call if you need help. Because I know this COVID situation, I know at this time there are challenges. There may be some persons who may be suffering from depression, you may not even know. There may be persons who are with comorbidities that we are not aware of. And so we're asking you, if it is that you feel so led to speak with or to speak to someone, please call the guidance department. They can even make external referrals for parents, even from their seat and from a virtual distance. Students, October 5 to 9, that first week when you come into school, your teachers will be giving to you a diagnostic test. What happened? We have not seen some of you. We may have seen some of you on virtual platform after we left March 12. We may have seen some of you in classes. Some persons we have not seen, which a minority of persons we have not seen. At this point, we need to link to every single student. And for the benefit of us all, we're asking, please get online, because this is the mode of schooling for now until COVID gets a little bit better. We will gradually move into normal mode of schooling where all of us will come back. But that will depend on, one, the number of cases of persons who are infected, and I'm hopefully wishing that we won't be having any increase in deaths in terms of per day or per 24 hours, because we're all in moving towards preserving life. And if you know me, I'm a Red Cross and humanitarian individual. And we always want to ensure that lives are preserved. So I'm going to ask students, I'm going to ask parents, family, keep your family intact. Ensure that we are all safe. Whenever we must go out, and I spoke with you about coming out 2 days for book rentals, for example, make sure you wear your mask. And may I say about masks, as I indicate this, that we have masks, branded Bridgeport High School mask in red and blue. They are for $500 with our logo for those persons who are interested. Please ensure that you purchase when you come. It's $500 for a mask. I will also ask you students, when you're coming, ensure that you protect yourselves. You will be unsanitized as you come to the gate. We have a wash and station. We have wash and stations right around the compound because we were preparing for you to come in on a blended modality, coming in at grade 10 for 4 days and then 1 day for virtual teaching. However, based on the latest development and increase in COVID-19 cases, we must start off school fully online. So when you're coming out, students, to get your book rental or for any other reason, you're taking in your vouchers for re-registration. You're taking in your passport picture for re-registration and to ensure that we have current information on you. Please ensure that you protect yourselves. Please ensure that you protect yourselves. Honestly, we don't want to hear of a death within the Bridgeport High School family from neither our student or staff population. All right. As we move into the online mode of teaching, students, I will remind you again that we will start off with diagnostic tests and our test, most of which you will get via Google Forms that you can fill out, you can answer, and send it back to your teachers. All right. Or otherwise, but most of it I know will be done via Google Form. Students, you're all to log on to the SMS platform, which is My School Jamaica. You know how to log on. You have been utilizing it from grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9 to get your reports. Also to get your classes from March. I'm going to ask you to log on. I'm using your name. We will be using 3 main platforms, and our main platform is the My School Jamaica SMS platform for teaching online, Zoom classes, as well as Google Classroom. Please get yourself familiar. You can learn anything you wish on Google Classroom or on YouTube, how to do things. So please utilize your technology and utilize it well. For persons who need to get in touch with the school, I'm going to ask you kindly to communicate via our grade emails. We have a grade email set up for every single grade, and grade 10, it is grade with a capital GRADE. So grade 10 BR1 at gmail.com. We have our administrative staff who is in charge of the email. We would have been sending correspondences to our parents regarding start of school, regarding calendar of events, every single thing. We would have been sending information via our grade email to our parents. If it is that parents were not getting information from you, I'm going to ask you to WhatsApp us. You can inbox us at 495-5469. 495-5469. That is our WhatsApp number for the school. And if you wish to be added to the WhatsApp number, please indicate so we can add you to the WhatsApp number. It is managed administratively. Persons are not allowed to post in the group, so we don't have random persons posting in the group. It's only school matters related are posted in the group. So I'm going to ask you, if it is that parents are not getting emails from us, please email us at 495-5469. We have, in terms of those that would have, those emails that we would have had from on our management system. Some of them are not working. Some of them were. Some of them bounce back on us. We're going to be asking parents just to inbox us your email, indicate your name, indicate the child's name to 495-5469, or to send the email to grade10br1@gmail.com. So please keep in dialogue with us, because we need to get in touch with you. If it is that you need to find out or hear or see what is happening, please follow us on Instagram at Bridgeport High 876, on Facebook at Bridgeport High School Portmore, on YouTube at Bridgeport High School Television. We have to utilize the social media pages. We have to utilize our WhatsApp group. We must utilize our school's email. Please note our general email is bridgeport_02@yahoo.com. You will have seen this on all correspondence that we would have sent to you, or bridgeport.high.sce@moe.gov.jm. Please, those emails, utilize them. Send your requests, send your comments, and we will respond accordingly. To the other matters, students, when is it that we start? Starting from class orientation, Mrs. Palmer would have spoken to you regarding how we deal with class orientation. For class orientation, you're going to come in on the Zoom platform by grades, and the times were allocated to you. I would have posted in terms of your class orientation times in the chat in the Zoom meeting at this point. For your class orientation, for your subject teaching, and for form class, we're asking you to enter the platforms with your name and your class. Each subject teacher will have a physical mark book. Each form teacher will have a physical register, and they will be taking the register for every single student, because we have to account to the Ministry of Education about students' attendance to school, even though we are doing so on the online platform. So I'm asking students, we don't know if you log on to Galaxy. Well, if you log on to Galaxy S7 or whatever phone that is, we're not going to let you in the class, because a phone is not a name of a student. You must log on with your name and your class. And I must tell you, students, when is it that you enter the class? That's why we ask you to wear your uniforms to class. Because it is online, you also have the option of wearing your polo shirts. You also have the option of wearing your PE shirts, your PE tops. Students, please, in one of those dress mode, because you're going to be asking teachers must identify students, not only with their name, but we need to see who we are speaking to and who we are addressing to in class to mark you present for class. So students, you must log on with your name and your class to subject classes, to your form teachers, as well as to your orientation, class orientation next week. Class orientation, you will be given your timetable. You will be given your timetable. That will be fed to you. We will post these on the social media pages by the end of the week, but you will be given these via social media forum by the time you have your class orientation next week. So please look out for that. We will send it also to your parents' email. So again, I'm appealing to parents, please inbox us on 495-5469 and let us know your email address so we can communicate directly with you. I must tell you, students, for those persons who would have visited, and I know some person possibly have not visited school for a while, you need to visit, you need to know what is happening. So please visit for your rental, and then you look around and see what is happening. But I will give you a little synopsis of what is happening. We have had students in preparation for students coming face to face, because we wouldn't have known that the pandemic would have spread in terms of infections, would have spread so much at this point. But we, in readiness for students, we have placed several wash-on stations strategically around the compound in front of each classroom block. At the main entrance at sixth form, we have an isolation area at the section at cosmetology. We also have the wash-on stations in front of the business department, PE department. We are going to put in additional wash-on stations in front of visual arts department and at the Binishel, as well as the netball court. I am saying this, that students, when we shall gradually move to some form of face-to-face, when we come on the compound, you will see the preparations that we would have made for you. All the classes have been marked out with 6 foot social distance. So each class, for your classroom that would have on a normal circumstance accommodated 35, 40, up to 43 students per class, it can only accommodate 15, 16 maximum. And that's the reason, even when we are moving into a gradual face-to-face mode of students coming to us, we won't be able to have every single student. Once we're operating at a 6 foot social distance, we cannot have every single student every single day, neither, because only 15 students are allowed in terms of spacing for classes. And those persons who would have been here in June, July for accelerated program, you would have noticed that students would have been spaced 6 foot social distance. So all our classrooms would have been marked out to accommodate students at a 6 foot social distance. All our corridors, and we have walking hours for all our students. The building shall have been converted to classroom space because we have some option classes. Accelerated grade 9 classes are usually large. The building shell is for now a classroom space. We will not, whenever we move to an face-to-face gradual mode of teaching, we will not be utilizing the Binishel for assembly because that space we are converting it to classroom. We have converted it to classroom space. So too is the library. So too all-purpose room has been opened up for a single class to accommodate any class for 30 or 34, up to 34. The music room. All of these spaces have been so marked out to accommodate students for classes, which means devotion will be held via the intercom. So no more will we have General Assembly once we're in the pandemic because we are facilitating students straight to their classes and ensure that we students do not bundle at any point. We also have, in addition to marking out our spaces for social distancing, we have set up the washing station and sanitizing stations. We also have completed the entire wall along Gibson Road straight down to the end next to the Bridgeport Basic School, and it has been painted in our school colors. We have converted several rooms. We have ensured for you students, we have in terms of our computer lab has been sorted out by the CXC office. We have converted one more lab for CXC, this in preparation for more in terms of a virtual or distant learning classroom for you. So many things have been done and I could go on, but this is in all for preparation mode for our students. I'm going to be speaking to students who are on path. For students who would have been on path, you would have been getting your grants directly from the ministry and they would have communicated to you the process of how you get. You will continue to get your benefits from the ministry in the same modality. With regards to tablets that you would have heard on the news about part students to be getting, those will be communicated in terms of how the government will accommodate those, get those to you by the government. They will indicate how those will be received. So parents, you will have to listen to find out in terms of how the government say that those will be distributed to you. For accelerated students, there are several students who have been placed on the accelerated program by virtue of your performance in the grade 10 examinations. And please note, grade 10, we only, not grade 10, grade 9, you would have only completed semester 1 exams. We weren't able to do semester 2 because it would have been unfair to this balance of students who weren't able to log online to access virtual classes to do an end of year examinations. So we utilize the results from semester 1 exams and students are placed in the accelerated classes. Students are allowed to sit two examinations in the accelerated program at grade 10. Some students, I know the results are looking good. TXE results, it's looking very, very good. There are some of the students who have been on the accelerated program at grade 9 and they did well. And we just want to congratulate you, students. They are here now. Congratulations to you for your work and for your worth. So for the students who will continue on accelerated program, there are some students who started math at grade 9. You're going to continue math in grade 10, but your math grade must have been improved. We will have a meeting with parents, and if it is that you're listening to me now, we will be having an accelerated meeting with parents tomorrow, Friday the 25th at 4:30. We will be sending the link to the numbers that we have on file for the accelerated students. So if your numbers are not working and you know that you're on the accelerated, and for persons who know, how do you know? You would have received your semester 1 report. You would have earned yourself 70% and over. There are some special requests for persons who possibly would have earned 60, 68% or so on, to be a part of the accelerated program. You would have been placed on the program. So you would automatically have been placed. There are some others who would wish to be placed on the program, but would not have attained 70%. Please note this is how it will happen. If it is that you would have attained 70% and more and no EDPM, HSB, and math will be accommodated as subjects that are offered in the accelerated program at grade 10. If it is that you wish to be a part of the accelerated for one of these subjects or two, you must have an average of 70% in that particular subject. A letter must be written to make the request, and the teacher of the subject will give the approval for you to be a part of the subject for grade 10. So just in case there are persons who really wish to be a part of a program, the accelerated program, in grade 10, and you would not have attained 70% or more, please send in a request, the letter, and indicate the subject. And please note, if you're doing those subjects as one of the option or as a vocation, please, you won't be able to get it to do in accelerated. So we will send the link for the accelerated meeting to parents, to the numbers that we have on file, and we will send them to you to invite you to the meeting tomorrow at 4:30. So that's a shout out to all accelerated parents of students. You will also get your letter when we're sending the information to the link. Some students are asking that they don't know what grade 10 classes that you're in. Please note, if it is that you don't know, this is how you will check. The notice for grade 10 placement by your class, and it's the same thing for your vocation, has been placed on the notice board from in July. There are parents, there are students who came in and they checked. If there are students who still do not know their classes, the posting is still there. We will make an effort to post the class list, and because of all of the nonsense some students went on with the scribblings and so on, with markings and some derogatory comments, we're kind of holding off on posting information regarding students' data online because some persons are not respectful in terms of what information is there and making some comments that is not worthwhile or is not uplifting. So students, if you don't know what class you're in, I'm going to ask you to visit with school. The posting for the grade 10 list has been up from July. You can know the class that you're in. You would have had Mr. Beal, as it would have been noted, as your grade 9 supervisor last year. If you have his contact, you can liaison with him. You can WhatsApp him, and he will also tell you the class that you are placed, the vocations and the options that you have. But it's best to know from the recorded information that have been posted. That would have been all that I would need to speak with you about. If I leave anything out, Miss Beckford will let me know. There I will pause to take the responses to any question that you may ask. If it is that it has not been answered, I will take those questions and I will respond to those questions that you would have posted in the chat on the on this forum as well as YouTube. And then that's it for the meeting. So students, colleague, parents, we want to thank you for your time and effort to be with us today. I also want to just remind us that students, parents, if it is that you have comorbidities and you're coming to school either for one reason or the other, to bring in your registration payment voucher, to collect book rentals, to come and to check your class that you're in on the notice board, or to just go out to the stores. When I ask you if you have comorbidities, do not go out. Do not come into school. And when we're moving into online face-to-face school, do not come to school if your child is unwell. All right? Thank you so very much for listening, and we're looking forward to a very, very productive school year. Irrespective of that, we may not be seeing you in a face-to-face class right now. We will be starting off with online, and we know that you're going to be doing well. For those persons, and I will reiterate the comment that Ms. Beckford had made, for those students who listen, who participate, who after they have their classes, do some revision. Those are the same students that we see get grades 1 and grade 2. There are some students who have moved. Yes, they may pass, but it's a grade 3, and some are students grade 4. I also must make this comment too, that based on the results, I know students, you may have bigger siblings, older siblings, who are coming to sixth form, or they're not too sure where what is it that they have intended to do. We would have communicated to you before, but I'm telling you, for those persons who pass 5 subjects or more, including English language, grades 1 and 2, your space is at Bridgeport High School once you make an application, and the sixth form application have been posted from in June. For persons who would have passed 3 or 4 subjects and not too sure what to do, the Ministry of Education have introduced what we have. We are part of that program too, the expanded grade 12 program. So now we have a 12T, a 12 technical program, where students, if you would have passed 3 or 4 subjects, you can come in, but you have to apply to the sixth form program with a sixth form application form. You come in, you will be calling for an interview. You are able to do a skill area. You're able also to do additional 1 or 2 CXCs. These they're your grade supervisor, Ms. Ferron, Mr. Smalling, will place you in those classes. Sorry, not Ms. Ferron. The grade 11 supervisor, Mr. Mills, Ms. Doig, will place those students in the grade 11 program to do additional CXCs. These students can continue. So students, if you get 3 or 4 subjects, and I'm speaking to students at grade 10, if you have siblings at grade 11 or relatives at grade 11, who would have passed their subjects and what the number of subjects that they would have passed, they can come in to form part of the expanded grade 12 program or the traditional grade 12 program. Application forms are still out. They are available at the school. So if it is that they had not sent an application at this point, We're also going to ask you that you pick up an application form now, carry it in as soon as possible, and they will be processed and called in for an interview. Thank you so very much for listening. And Miss Beckford will call up in terms of if there are any questions asked in the chat, and we will respond to those as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Harris. Uh, we are seemingly doing very, very well because no one has any questions. So, students, I had asked earlier if you have questions, you can type them in the chat. There is one that is coming in from a Douglas. Will we be getting rental books? Although you can, the question is, will you be getting rental books even if the fees are not paid? You collect your rental books. The fees are, you can collect the rental books before you pay the fees. You can collect your rental books before you pay the fees. Okay, there are no other questions, Mrs. Harris. Students, if you have questions, you can type them in the chat. You will know your form teachers when you come to orientation. The key is that you know now the form class that you're in. So once we do the form classes, then the subject teachers will come after. For those persons who've not yet done so, please go ahead and type your name and your form class in the chat. Those persons on YouTube, I think the portal would have been opened for you to register your name and your number. Um, Again, I just want to reiterate, we have to hit the ground running. Robert, there will be no face to face class. Everything will be done online. So I'm going to implore you, if we have parents in the group now, please, please, please try as much as possible to secure a laptop or a tablet for the students because it is going to be extremely difficult, almost impossible for them to maneuver their uh, through the classes using a phone. All right. You don't have to get an expensive one, just get one that can work. The phones will not be adequate to do the online classes. All right. Um, there are no names. All right. Will we be able to change subjects that you don't want to do? Now, we cannot do wholesale changing of subjects. You will have to speak with your grade supervisors and they will advise you whether or not a change is possible. We cannot do wholesale changing of subjects, but if you're having a serious problem, you can speak with your grade supervisors. Your grade supervisors will be available at the online orientation next week. So we'll make some space for you to engage that way. Yes, we do have uniforms at school. Mrs. Harris, can you take this one? Do we have uniforms for the grades 10 in adequate supply at the school?
All right, miss, just give me a minute. I will find out the sizes right now from the bursar and let you
Oh,
know. I
all
just
right. Thank you. I'll just continue. Can I do Zoom class on? No, no, no. You can use whatever device you have to do your classes. However, I'm saying a device larger than a phone will be easier for you to work with. A device larger than a phone will be easier for you to work with because you're going to have to be typing information to send back. You're going to have to be doing research. We're going to do presentations, and it may be a little difficult to see all of that on the phone. All right. So you can use whatever it is that you have, but I'm just saying the laptop or a larger device will be better than the phone. Ian, thank you very much. Grade 10, grade 10, when will the rental books be picked up? Um, I'm not sure. Mrs. Palmer, Mr. Nelson, collection of the rental books for grade 10. While they secure that, I'll make a note. When the principal returns, we will get that information because there are specific days for the grade. I'm not sure if Mrs. Palmer had typed that in the chat. For persons who are still unaware of their form classes, come on, it's going to be a little difficult for us to do it right here. It will be a little difficult for us to do it right here. Tell you what, if you are not sure of your form class, um, your, all right, tell you what you do. Give You can put in the chat, just send me privately your name and a number, and I will see if I can help you. Now, all 70 out of you cannot be putting your names because I won't have the time to do it. But if you put your name and your number, contact number, I will send it to me privately in the chat. Just send it to me privately. I'm signed in as Karen Beckford. Send it to me privately. Then I will see if I can get the information back to you if you don't know your form class. Um, on what date do online classes start? Check the chat for me, please. All that information has been posted in the chat in terms of the orientation. Online classes begin in earnest. Online classes begin October 5. October 5, we will have a full rollout. So by the time you come to orientation, we will ensure that you're settled, you have your timetables, and you will know what to do. I was told that my son can change his subject at the beginning of the. All right, um, Mr. Leachman, I did address that. We can speak to the grade supervisor and they will see what they can do. That is for Mr. Leachman with regards to changing the subject.
Miss Beckford?
Yes, Mrs. Harris.
Yes, I'm just going to add in terms of changing of subject.
Yes.
Normally, if you started school in September, we would have given you until the end of September to change a subject. We're going to be doing the very same thing for, not the very same thing, we're going to give you until 2 weeks, mid-October, to change subjects. So Miss Ferron, Mr. Smalling, mid October, sorry, to change any subject. It may not be possible because the class size I would have indicated in terms of your class size. The class size is so that we can only accommodate so much and no more because now with COVID-19, and we may not be on the virtual platform for the entire year. When is it that we come on for face to face? We have to facilitate for that space as well. So our class size is an average 30 students per class. There are one and two that we may be able to accommodate for more. So it depends. If it is that students can be accommodated in the class, it can happen. Please note that the change to subject will also be dependent on your goals, your career pathway. That's why when we ask you to for subject listing, and most students would have gotten your first choice. So we are not expecting students to ask for change of subject. So you would have gotten your first choice in terms of your what you would have placed on your list. Yes. We would have placed you with your first choice based on what you would have written. Um, Also, if persons did not get your first choice, we would have given you your second choice. All right. So it will be limited in terms of the changes that can be made. So you would have to indicate to your grade supervisors, and they will sort out if it is that you can change, if the changes can be made. For the matter of uniforms, the uniform for boys, we have all uniforms for boys. And remember, for boys, it's just a shirt alone. So we have 14, 16, medium, large, extra large, and double X large for boys. They're all in stock. For girls, there is a bit of shortage in terms of girls. We have sizes 8 and 10 for the full uniform, sizes 18 and XL, for blouse only. I can tell you, parents, because we're not starting off online because our suppliers had promised to take in those to us from in August. We are still having some issues regarding some of the sizes for grade 10. What we're going to be asking parents to do, the students for the online classes, you have the option to wear your PE top or your polo shirts, your school's polo shirts. So please, you have those options to utilize. But as soon as we get the other sizes, we will also post that information in the WhatsApp group. As soon as we get the updated information, we'll post it in the WhatsApp group for you. I'm going to remind parents again, if it is that we don't have an email for you, if it is that you're not on the WhatsApp and for the school's WhatsApp group, and please note it is managed administratively. Persons are not allowed to post, everybody not allowed to post in the group except for the admin staff members, and it's only school related matters are posted in the group. Please send that information to 495-5469. 876-495-5469. Your queries can be answered through this forum. Please indicate your email address so we can send additional information to you via email, and also indicate you're wanting to add to the WhatsApp group, and we will do that for you. All right, thanks.
Mrs. Harris, before you go, can you help me please? On what date are the grade 10s allowed to come in to do collection of rental?
Okay, so just to repeat again, and this is also in the chat, it's on Wednesday, September 30th, surnames A to M, and Friday, October 2, surnames N to Z. So again, Wednesday, September 30th, surnames A to M, and Friday, October 2, surnames N to Z. Book rental distribution. Parents, you would have gotten a letter for grade 10s generally from earlier part in August for grade 10. It would have indicated on the book list. It would have been, if you didn't get a book list, also you can call it. It would have indicated on the book list that that you are only to purchase items 1 and items 2. And the item 1 and item 2 is the general books. Not books. General accessories that you need for math and English, like your geometry set, your dictionary, and so on. Because we are working from online, we are going to be asking parents to purchase workbooks, and we are going to send a letter giving you the names of those workbooks so students can use the workbooks and can utilize them at home. So we will be sending those workbooks, the name of the workbook in terms of those listing. And these are new workbooks that are on the market now, particularly like for some with the national standards curriculum that we have to follow. And those that will help with your classes as we move along. We're going to be sending out that information to you, and we'll put them in the WhatsApp group and send them to you via email. So in addition, I will let you know the book list would have indicated that all the listing of books that we have, which is like quite a bit, it would have indicated to you that parents do not purchase those books until your teachers advise you when to purchase, because some subject areas the students will not do. For those that the students are doing, on the advice of the teachers, you will purchase those books at the time. All right? So thanks much.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris. We're going to have to wrap up shortly. I appreciate the questions. We're going to have to wrap up because we have to prepare for the next meeting. But allow me please to say for Tracy and for the others who are giving advice with regards to devices, persons in the meeting, please note that these are just suggestions. These are not devices that are endorsed by the school. So it is just persons who are not affiliated with the school who are suggesting that these are possible devices that can be secured. So I want to thank the persons who are having that discourse online. But please bear in mind, these are not devices that the school is saying that you ought to buy. You have to do your research and then make your decision. All right. There's another question. Can I take an additional subject as opposed to just exchanging? If you want to do additional subject, the evening school program is available. It would be difficult to take up an additional subject because the timetable is fixed. So you would already have all the time slotted for subjects. For Maxine Spencer on YouTube, I'm so sorry I'm not able to do that for you. If you call into the school, maybe Friday early, we'll see if we can help you with that. But I won't be able to help you right now with that, Maxine Spencer. There are no other questions, Mrs. Harris. Students, I want to thank you so very much. You have been, for the most part, very, very good. Thank you so very much. I look forward to working with you online, and I look forward to meeting you. And because I'm looking forward to meeting you, I'm begging you, please be safe. Remember all of what nurse said to you. I want to ensure that I can meet you, look at you, and when all of this is finished, engage you face to face. Thank you so very much. Presenters, Mrs. Harris, everyone who participated, teachers, thank you so very much for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Are there any Saturday next week? All the other questions you have, we can address them in the orientation next week for Campbell. All right. Have a good day. God bless you. Be safe.